everyone, and welcome back to the From the Farmyard podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about why your floofsters are not laying butt nuggets. In other words, why your chickens are not laying eggs during this time of year. So
Oh
there
my
are.
gosh.
I
Oh my gosh. This is why
had no clue that was
this
going
is,
to
guys,
happen.
this is why Zachary hasn't introed any of the videos recently because, he speaks in a different language.
No, floofsters is
He
just
can't even say it.
fun.
Anyway,
Floofsters is just fun.
this is a common
No, but
question. Maybe not the question that you asked. Floofsters. Do people type that in the search engine? Why aren't my floofsters laying butt nuggets?
you don't.
You do?
I can neither confirm nor deny it this time.
So why aren't your chickens laying? This is a question I think I've been asked a few times. Or why are my chickens losing feathers? This is another common question asked with this. So today we're just going to be covering that because I know sometimes it can be a scare to people who are new to it and don't understand why their chickens aren't laying eggs like they were before, or why all of a sudden they look like they're injured and they're naked because they've lost a bunch of feathers. Well, there's a few things that can make this happen. So if you don't know this information today, we're just going to break it down for you guys and give you as simple of an explanation, but also go into detail just to help you guys understand it a bit better.
Right. The first reason why is it's winter. They're getting less light. So that's just, yeah. They need a certain number of hours of daylight. I think it's 20 or it might be six. It's between, I think it's between 16 and 20 to lay an egg each
Mm-hmm.
cycle. And until they reach that, then they're not going to lay an egg. And with not getting a lot of light, I mean, you get a lot of people get very little light in the winter. So it makes sense for them to slow down.
Mm-hmm. So there's a way that you can like keep the egg production going. I don't recommend this, but people do it. You can have lights on in your coop just to have them get that amount of daylight that they need. But honestly, winter is a time for things to rest. I mean, we see it with gardening. Winter is a time for the plants and the earth to be at rest, and it's also a time for us gardeners to take a break from all the hard work that we just completed over the past summer and fall. So winter for chickens is that as well because it's their body taking the break that they need. You got to think they've been cranking out eggs for how many days in a row, for how many months. I mean, their bodies are going to get tired. So I don't recommend the whole coop, lighten the coop, but if you're if you bought chickens for eggs, which I'm sure we all did, I mean, it's a good way to increase production. I've never done it, so I can't say I've had experience with it, but I know that people have done it before, and I've seen that as a resolution for your issue. Um,
Yeah.
but don't
I
recommend
don't
it because it's not natural.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't recommend it either. And when you're doing that, also you need to realize that your birds have a set number of eggs that they're going to lay in their entire lifetime. That number is determined before they're even hatched. And when you are forcing them to lay with artificial light, that's what I'm going to call it because it says what it is.
mhm.
If you are forcing them to lay with artificial light, then you are going to be cramming that into a smaller amount of time. However, you want to do things, I'm not here to say that there's a right or a wrong way to do it, but here on the podcast, we do things the natural, organic way. And sometimes you just need to sacrifice a few weeks without eggs. Things will pick back up again. Just give it some time.
Right.
Or also, what I'm going to be doing next year is starting in about June, I'm going to save some like mark eggs and save them and put them in the fridge because they can last a while in there. Or maybe not June, but August, September, when mine start kind of falling off, start saving eggs then. So then I have a good pile of eggs that I can go through. And that is a really good way to counteract this, but your hens are going to do this regardless.
So, like you just said, you said whenever your hens start falling off, and you said around what month? When do they
I
start
would say
falling off?
I would say August, between August and October.
Okay, so let's explain why your birds are all chickens, okay? This is a common thing. Why are your chickens stop laying, first of all, but why are they stopping
Mhm.
laying at the specific time every single year? Okay. Well, there's this thing, it's a natural occurrence in birds. It is called molting. What's going to happen is basically your birds have had the same coat coat of feathers. That sounded like a mammal phrase for a bird. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Anyway, they have the same coverage of feathers,
Mhm.
plumage.
Plumage,
They have had that same fluff
plumage,
or
floofsters,
yeah, the floof. They have had
floofs.
that same floof, their feathers, all summer long. It's now going into winter. That means they need to bulk up and they need to get a winter plumage.
Layering. Yes.
A winter
Some winter
layer.
flu.
Exactly, because some chickens are made for winter while others aren't. So that extra fluff is going to help them
Oh,
just survive the winter and better. You're distracting me. Is going to help them survive the winter and keep them warm and keep them healthy and safe. So your birds will start to molt. Now, all chickens do this at random times, honestly. It's really dependent on the bird's body. So I can't tell you that right in August, boom, all your birds are just gonna
yeah.
go naked and lose their feathers and they're gonna start running through the yard and just be featherless birds, okay? I'm not saying that because all birds are different. And I can give you a first-hand example from my hens. So I'll have chickens that are losing feathers in August. And then I'll have birds that are losing feathers in September, October, November. I have a hen right now that's just starting to molt and it's February.
Yeah.
It's really random, but it happens. So when you start to see your birds lose a bunch of feathers, don't be alarmed like, "Oh my gosh, did my bird get attacked? Was it injured? I don't see any injuries. What's wrong with it?" This is a normal thing. They will get lethargic sometimes because they're putting a lot of energy into losing those feathers and their body's just it's a timeout, honestly. They're stopping
Right.
laying to put energy into losing their feathers and growing back new ones. So it's just really tiring on a chicken's body. So for your just an FYI, like this time of year is kind of rough for them, but it's a nice break. They shouldn't stop laying for too long. I mean, if all your birds go at once, 1 month they'll all be done molting, and next month hopefully your egg production is back. But sometimes it
Yeah.
can last a little longer than that. It's really dependent upon the bird.
Right. My well, don't know where that thought was going. With the thought of molting, birds won't molt their first year. They don't even really go into a molt until they are 18 months old. That's
Right.
usually their first molt. With chickens, with ducks, whoa, ducks will molt just varying on breed. My Welsh Harlequins, for example, just they molt every month. Every single month, they are shedding different feathers, getting into adult plumage and breeding plumage and all of that stuff. Just for chickens, though. What I do in winter for my birds, because they are using so much extra nutrients, is and just a lot of proteins and everything, trying to build back their feathers, everything that they've lost.
Hmm.
I will start putting chick food into their feeders. Just not a lot, just a little bit, just some extra protein, and that really does help them step it up a little bit quicker. Um, but again, sometimes that won't help with some birds. Some birds really enjoy that, and they're done super quick. Some moltings can be over in a matter of a week or two.
Right.
Some are not going to be over that long.
Exactly.
So it's just or over in that period of time. Some can be a month or more, which isn't uncommon, not what you want, but it's fine. Just provide extra bedding for if you like if your birds are naked, maybe invest in some more bedding or whatever.
Supplemental heat or
Also,
something.
I would not do supplemental heat.
Well, there is that because I think people get scared.
Right.
People get scared with it. So, there's this. There's a line. I mean, birds are meant to do this. Birds are meant to do this.
Exactly.
I never do supplemental heat because my birds are meant to do this. If my whole flock went absolutely bare naked, I mean, then maybe I'd be a little worried, be like, okay, you guys need some help. But they don't like lose all their feathers, like completely all their feathers. So there should be no need to do a supplemental heat option, especially if you have a flock. A flock's job is to stick together and they heat each other
Right.
themselves. They build that heat on their own. I'm not saying
If you
I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, but it's not really recommended. But I mean, it's your flock. I mean, whatever
and it's not
you want to
needed either.
do. Right.
I would say if you're going to do anything, the safest option would be the stand-up brooder plate.
Right. No
You can
heat
stick them
lamps.
to your coop. Do not, repeat, do not use a heat lamp inside of your coop.
Yeah,
That is
it's
how
really
so many problems
dangerous.
starting. Barn fires can happen. Your house can catch on fire if you're brooding chicks like that. The brooder plates are safer than anything else.
It's a
So
much
if
better
you're going
option.
to do that, use the brooder plates. That's what I
Hmm.
use with all of my birds when I'm brooding. It works so much better than a heat lamp, and you don't have to worry about, oh, is it too far away? Is it not going to do the whatever? They're going to regulate it themselves. A heat lamp, when brooding especially, you can have it too far and they're too cold, too close, and they're going to burn up. So again, there's a whole other topic with that, but don't I don't use a heat lamp and don't risk losing everything for that. Your birds are okay. It's a natural process. Like Reagan said, they're not going to lose all their feathers at one time. It's not like you just plucked a bird. They're going to lose, like, I would say probably 20 to 50 feathers a day, and they're going to grow those. And then it's just moving, it's just different
Yeah,
things going in
it's
and
like
out,
a
growing in.
rotation.
Like losing your
It's
baby
all at
teeth.
once.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what it is. Like, yeah, like losing your baby teeth. Once ones are coming in, that's when the other feathers are going to go out.
I mean, God
It's
designed
like
it
the
with a
best
purpose.
example.
It's like exactly with your teeth. You need your teeth to eat. These need their feathers to keep warm. If a chicken is molting in the winter, I mean, it wouldn't just lose all its feathers at once. No, God designed it so intricately. It's like, no, you're gonna lose these like every once in a while. That way you can
Yeah.
still keep enough warmth to help you just be more sustainable. And I mean, it's the same thing. Like you said, a very good example with baby teeth. I mean, if we lost all our teeth at once, we'd be eating mashed potatoes and smoothies and soup.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not the way it was designed to work. And so, I mean, they're meant to do this. Their body's going to work like this. Not all birds are going to do it at the same time. It's dependent upon the breed and their age. It's really dependent upon the bird themselves when their body
Yeah.
thinks it's necessary to do that. And there's two times that chickens really actually molt. Their biggest molt is more so in the fall, but in the spring they'll also molt because they have to
Yeah.
lose that winter. They have to lose the winter so they can survive in the summer. But usually
Right.
the fall molt is a lot. The fall and winter molt is a lot
Yeah.
heavier and a lot more work on their bodies than the spring.
Because what I'm pretty sure this is what it is. They'll shed they'll molt everything in, well, yeah, everything in the fall. In the spring, they are just shedding the down from the inside, the insulation that they need because they don't need it in the
Right.
summer. If they had it in the summer, they'd cook. So they're just getting rid of that, which they're still feathers, but you're not going to be going out there and finding a whole lot of feathers. I mean, maybe some little feathers here and there, but nothing compared to a fall molting at all.
Right. So when people ask, why aren't my chickens laying or am I losing, why are my birds losing so many feathers? These are common questions and concerns that like new chicken owners have or even experienced chicken owners may have. Well, if you're experienced, you probably know this by now. If you've had them for a few years, you probably know the deal. But like if you've even had them for 1 or 2 years. Usually it's that first big, alarming, like, oh my gosh, my chickens are losing feathers. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, it is scary. It is because you don't know why they're doing that. So, yeah, this video is just kind of to help explain that to you guys. I mean, you we gave some pretty good points in this one because it's like, I mean, there's molting, there's chickens are only supposed to lay so many eggs in their lifetime, and it's the daylight, and it's honestly how it's just supposed to work. And if you guys didn't know that, then we hope this video was informational and it educated you. Um, but pretty basic for this one. Just some questions that we've been asked before, and we just wanted to put this on here to help anybody who's new or is learning about, wanting to get chickens or has chickens and is asking these questions and is concerned. Um, this video is for you, and we hope it taught you something. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, just everything that Reagan just said. It is just dependent upon breed, bird, everything like that. So, and we did
Exactly.
want this to be, I mean, this is very common this time. I mean, you people make videos and ask questions all the time, new chicken owners, and there's like, why are my birds molting? Why is there like a pile of feathers out here? It's normal. It's okay.
Yep.
Take a second and breathe. Don't just jump right to conclusion. What I do, because some of my birds, I have so many that my birds will, a lot of them will molt at the same time. And I'll go out there and there's like a whole bunch of feathers. And I'm like, is anybody like gone? And I count, make sure everybody's there. Everybody's there. And I'm like, okay, it's
Exactly.
just a molt. But even
Yeah.
sometimes with experienced chicken owners, I will go out there and just count randomly because I'm like, this looks like a lot of feathers.
Or even
Just want to
feathers in
make
the
sure.
yard in my yard. I'm like, oh gosh, did a hawk come? Like, is there
Yeah.
something wrong? No, guys, you're not doing anything wrong as the chicken owner. You guys are fine. You didn't do anything to your birds. They're safe. They're good. This is just a natural
It's
thing that all birds go through, and this is a question that people have, and I think this is very useful information if you're getting chickens. You need to know about this because this is basic knowledge that you just need to know when getting
yeah.
chickens. So, yeah, we hope this taught you something and it helped you out with any concerns that you did have. But if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below. We would love to help you guys out and answer your questions. Um, and if we find a question or a topic that we think would make a great podcast episode, we will gladly take those ideas and bring them to the channel. So we hope you guys learned something and that you liked this video. But I think that's everything for today. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you all in the next one.
Bye.